Nick, Professor Ball here. How's it going? So during the course of the semester, you're going to either get comments from me, like last time when they were inserted into your essay, or this time you're going to get a video with my comments on it. Lucky you. So the first thing that I do when I look at the papers is when I open it up, I look at MLA format. So it looks like you have everything you need here, and everything is double spaced, and I guess you came up with kind of your own title, but it would have been nice to have something a little more unique than the words of the TED Talk. So I'm just going to put in creative here. Just think about that. It's not wrong. It's just, something I'd like to point out. So most people would agree that education is a key foundation to a person's career. Yes. What people don't realize or sometimes see is not every person's career choice is right for them. People don't often make the right choices for themselves, but at times need a career coach to help guide them in the right direction to get the proper education. By using Lesley Stahl as an example, she brings her knowledge and credibility of career coaching and as a national security professional to listeners in her TEDx Berkeley video, 3 Questions to Unlock Your Authentic Career. She uses pictures, personal experience, statistics, research, and PowerPoints for her argument of why it's important to talk to a career coach in a presentation. So you set up the paper beautifully. You have some background, you have some context. You don't just jump in with Ashley Stahl. And when you do, you tell me a little bit about her, and you have a very clear thesis. These are the things that you told me that you're going to talk about. So now the key is, do you follow this format? Do you talk about pictures first and then personal experience and so on? One thing, you'll see the comments. I'm still making comments on the side. If I'm not commenting on it, I'm leaving you these marks. That's a lower order concern, which is still something you can do for your error log. She starts off explaining to the listeners how most people get stuck working in a career, doing a dream job they envision, as an adolescent, but find out it's not who the person really is. She influences the audience through the pictures that she showed at her job at the Pentagon. That helps give the audience the understanding of who she was when working as a national security professional. By her explaining and talking about the pressures of being a young adult, the effects it had on her, and the pressures that come from her career, this is a fragment. If you get rid of this period, and I'll just tell you, if you get rid of this period and replace it with a comma, then you would have a complete sentence. By explaining and talking about this, comma, her audience can get an understanding of how difficult a job could be, comma, especially at a young age with her explaining that she was the youngest in her firm. She realized, comma, at that moment, comma, that she hired a career coach to help guide her. Through the process, comma, she found out 3 questions that she used to find her authentic career. So this is good, but in terms of pie, where is the I? Meaning, why is the use of pictures? Well, maybe this is what it is. Through her use of pictures, her audience can get an understanding. Just make sure you bring up pictures again here at the bottom. By asking her audience to question themselves, by asking the 3 important questions, what am I good at? What do people tell you you are good at? And what is holding you back? This is also a fragment. So back, comma, it kept, there we go, right there. That's the fragment. It kept her audience engaged to follow along, so that's good. By pulling up slides for each question, comma, she asks the audience and giving the backstory behind each. She then helps build her argument through statistics and logical reasoning through the first question's PowerPoint slide. This is not possessive, so get rid of the apostrophe. What am I good at? Most people in college choose a subject to just simply get a bachelor's degree from something that interests them. But it's not who they are, so they struggle to strive in that career or education. By explaining to the audience her conflict with herself and her beliefs with holding a gun during the training she attended, comma, she realized she was working at the wrong field or career. People often feel conflicted with themselves when working in other lines of work that go against their own personal beliefs which at times makes people feel alone. According to Ashley's research, for the statistics she found through Reuters, 70% of Americans, no apostrophe, are hiding some part of their identity from work, meaning that people are not alone. Maybe dash or comma, millions of people go through this daily and go through it alone without talking to anyone for help. By talking to a career coach, she was taught to cancel what others tell you to find out. Just be careful with this. You read that comment. To find out what you love, but to instead look for jobs of who you are. So this is fine. Going back to your thesis, though, personal experiences next, statistics, and then research. I'm just a little concerned here because you talk about a few things. Asking questions could be one way that she makes her case. But then you bring up pulling up slides, which is good. But then you mention statistics and logical reasoning. And with academic writing, the rule of thumb is one idea per paragraph. So asking questions would be one paragraph. You make your point, you illustrate it, then you explain it. The use of the PowerPoint slides, you make a point, you illustrate it, you explain it. Or statistics, you make your point, you illustrate it, you explain it. So you have 3 ideas here. So each of those should be their own paragraph. The second slide of her PowerPoint message brings out what do others tell me I'm good at and how to answer it. She tells the audience to take count of the things they are told they're good at to help give the audience an example of what to look for in themselves if they can't. By giving the audience ways to do their research on what do others tell me I'm good at, she is then empowering her argument by giving valuable information. That's great. So then if you go back to your thesis, PowerPoints are the last thing there, and I'm just wondering, because you talked about PowerPoints here or slides, so just take another look at this paragraph and make sure your point is focused on I just lost it, the slides, because then you have the slides mentioned in the paragraph before, and then you have them again. So those all could be in one paragraph. And then here, you're talking about the slide, and this is your E part, your explanation. Because she incorporated this into the slide, they have a sense of logical reasoning. So, most people have things that hold them back from getting the career that helps show who they are for the career of what they want. And the final part of Stahl's talk, I just talked about last names, comma, she brings up the final question, what's holding you back? From her research, comma, people on average, proofreading here, people have 70,000 thoughts a day, and 98% of those thoughts people have already thought of and keep going in circles with, meaning that every thought a person had, everyone else has had the same thought. That's true. She has asked clients to write in a journal for 2 weeks, and each of her thoughts came out the same, each wanting to find their own passion rather than being what they want to be. All right, so now, is your point here statistics and research? Because you mentioned statistics earlier here. Here. So again, keep statistics in one paragraph, slides in another, and so forth. So really, you respond well to the prompt. Just take another look at the organization of the essay. Okay. And then you wrap it all up. So you did a good job. Your works cited page is not quite right. This is not in bold, and it should be centered. You would have Stahl, comma, Ashley, period. TEDx Berkeley would be italicized. I see Ashley there. Then you'd have the title of the TED Talk and the date it was produced. So look at the handouts that I've posted for you under the prompt on how to best do that. All right? So good job. Nick, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.